Hi everyone, it's Michelle. This is the 10th of December, so this is FlossMas Day 10. Welcome along. How has everyone's day been? I hope you've had a lovely day. We have had some pretty bad weather again today, but I think that's just November. Had a full day of lessons, which seem to have gone by in a bit of a blur, but we're one day closer to the Christmas holidays, and so that is all that I'm thinking about. My daughter's had some lovely Christmas things going on at her school. It's a shame we lose so many of those things when we go to secondary school, but she's come home with a selection box and a Christmas hat made out of balloons, and they did lots of singing of songs. So I've got some footage of her singing songs in Welsh, singing songs in English, and it's absolutely lovely. So it's so nice to see that they've done some things at school, because she's come home from school the last few days and been absolutely pooped. So I knew that there was something that they were sort of gearing up for. And yeah, her dad was able to go along and watch. I was at school, unfortunately, so I didn't get to see. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? Right, I have got the usual today. A little bit of news. I have joined a Patreon. Not me as the person, but I've joined Teresa Koger's Patreon. And I've been watching Teresa's videos, and she's been doing a great Vlogmas. And I've been watching her videos for a little while, and I'm always inspired by her charts and things, and I started to look into her Patreon. So for those of you who don't know, Patreon is a sort of a pay monthly subscription service, I guess. I don't know how I'd really describe it. And there's different tiers, so you can pay a little bit or a little bit more or a little bit more, and depending on how much you pay depends on sort of what access you get. So I thought, well, I'm going to go in on tier 4, which is the highest one, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. It works out about £15 a month, and for that I get access to, I think it's 3 extra charts a month, a big one and 2 small ones, a colouring page or a couple of colouring pages. And then she does various Zoom things, and also there's the chitter chatter that goes on the Patreon page as well. So I thought I'd give it a try. I'm really impressed so far. The charts are absolutely lovely, and it's quite nice actually. The 2 smaller ones, it's quite nice to think, oh yeah, I could actually get those done within a month. So yeah, I'm really impressed so far. So I'll give it a whirl, see how I get on. Teresa's so lovely that. Yeah, it's fantastic. I can already see it's going to be fantastic. So I'm really excited about that. And if I start stitching anything, then obviously I will show you. I'm quite excited about the colouring pages as well, because I keep looking at little videos about applique and wool applique and things like that. And I'm not confident enough to try it yet, but it's intriguing me a little bit. And the idea of combining it with cross stitch as well, it's kind of intriguing me, but again, I need another hobby, like another backside, so we'll see. I'm gonna have to be sure before I try and fall down that particular rabbit hole. And the other thing that I've been thinking about is stitch alongs for next year, what stitch alongs I would like to do next year, whether I want to do any stitch alongs at all, because I do fall into the classic habit of doing okay on January, February's fine, March is all right, April, and I must admit, the modern folk embroidery one, I'll put a little picture of it up here, is intriguing me this year. I like the modern folk embroidery ones because you can kind of see where it's all going. And I do like that. I like to kind of at least know I'm going to like it before I start it. And the reason I started to look at the modern folk embroidery one is because I've seen so many finishes of the one that's been going on this year, which I think is called Fruits of Plenty or Baskets of Plenty, something like that. And I've seen so many people actually finish it, which is incredible. These big stitch alongs, you quite often see a lot of starts, like me, and then not a lot of finishes, but I've seen so many finishes of it, and it looks amazing. So I'll put a picture up of that as well, because that's finished. And I did have an email from Jacob today, actually. I sent him the copy of Mary Small's chart because he'd found a little bit of information out for me initially and put me in the right direction. And he thinks he's found Mary's grandmother, I think, or certainly more relatives on her mother's side. I haven't had a full chance to read through everything, but he's told me about some juicy story there that's partly to do with the bear. So as soon as I've had a chance to read that through, I will let you know what he has found out for me. Right, stitching. We're back with the Prairie schooler, and I said yesterday, why don't I stitch more Prairie schoolers? I'm stitching this. The Birds is Prairie schooler, But what I meant was the Christmas ones, the Santa ones. I've got so many of them to stitch and I've just not really stitched them. So I have got as far as putting in, oh, sorry, I just had to plug my phone in. Forgot that it wasn't on charge. So where was I? Before I rudely interrupted myself, I got as far as putting in the little owl. So the owl is this nice dark brown with, is going to have a lot of white. So I can't wait to put him in. And I don't know, I might go down as far as the squirrel and then maybe stop after the squirrel, just because there's some other things I want to try and get finished this month. My freebie today, I couldn't help but show you another Scarlet House one. This one, I'll hold it back here, and I've got the digital rendering of the chart there as well. It's just beautiful. Since I've been stitching the And To All a Good Night, I just love houses that are made brick by brick. And this is one of them. And I keep meaning to do one in Cotswold stone colours, so I'm going to have to look for a really good Cotswold stone colour thread. But this is called From Our House to Yours, or it says From Our House to Yours. The chart may not be called that. And beautiful house, some little dogs. Oh no, reindeer, sorry, they've got antlers. And trees and birds. What more could you want? What more could you want? Right. Finishes. Finishes. I have got 3 little finishes to show you. I'll start off with this one. This is another little mill hill that I've obviously finished. And this is called Kris Kringle, I think. Kris Kringle. It's one of the Santa faces, so it's the same series. Let's see if I can hold them up together. It's the same series as the one that I've just finished. This one is made with cream thread and beads. This one is made with white thread and beads. So I finished him, and he's got the velvet backing in the kind of burgundy colour. And he lives on my IKEA tree that I showed you a couple of episodes ago. So I finished that. And then I also finished, would you look at that? Look at the state of that. This. Now, some of you may remember, oh, I got a bit of, that back in the, let's come this side, back in the first part of the year, I had a little bit of an obsession with donkeys. I was watching, oh my gosh, what's the name of the programme? The police one. I keep thinking of The Thin Blue Line, but it's not The Thin Blue Line because that's not it. Line of Duty. Line of Duty. I knew it was in there somewhere. I knew it was in there somewhere. And obviously Ted came out with the classic line, Jesus, Mary and Mary, Joseph and the wee donkey. I do have a Christmas decoration with that written on, actually. I'm just looking on the windowsill because I think it might be still there. And so yeah, when he came out with that classic line, I think in the episode before the finale, I decided I had to stitch a wee donkey, and I should have made him into a Christmas ornament by now. And yeah, I stitched this one, or I started it during the finale of the series of Line of Duty, which was, I'm still not, it still doesn't sit quite right with me. As to how it all worked out, but anyway, I got a nice wee donkey out of it. And then the last thing I've got to show you was this little project that I did. Now, this is called Quaker Blackbird, and it's by a company called Little by Little, I think. If it's any different, I'll put it along the bottom. And I stitched this on some fabric with some colours. I think they were similar to the called for on the front of the chart, but I don't think they're exactly the same colours, so it's similar colours. And then I finished it into this needle book. So this is a hardbacked needle book, so I made it with mount board, and I sewed the edges together because I do prefer the edges sewn together, just because it keeps them, I think it keeps them tighter together. It's not necessarily the world's finest sewing, which is again why I think, why do I want to get into applique? And I'm not sure I do, but we shall see. And then I just put in the middle just some wool felt and secured it with a couple of vintage mother of pearl buttons. And then I absolutely love the fabric that I used. It's got this lovely bird on the back, so yeah, I made myself a little needle book, which was great fun. So where are we? Freebie, past stitches, advent calendar. Is that it? Is that where we get to? Plus a load of waffle and chatter? We're good, we're good. Right, number 10. Number 10. A little tube. Prairie Beauty Ageless Hand Cream. So I'm going to have ageless hands as well. Marvellous. I'm going to have to do my nails as well. You know, I said that this stuff lasts brilliantly. It does last brilliantly, provided you don't actually break the nail. I lost two nails today. I have to say, the one good thing about it is you can actually cut it and it stays intact. So, anyway, let's have a look. I'm not very good with hand cream, I have to say. It's not something that I automatically reach for. Smells nice. Smells nice. We'll give it a whirl. We'll give it a whirl. If you've noticed my hands today, it does have a little reminder on it. This time it says Midget Gems. So in year 13 I always do a practical teaching them about the Kelvin cycle, which is from photosynthesis. And I always use midget gems for the carbon atoms and they move them around. And pre-COVID you could buy oh, excuse me, 3 or 4 packs of midget gems and they could share them out and get the colours that they need. Obviously now they've got to have their own pack of midget gems, haven't they? So I've just been and bought like 20 packs of midget gems from Aldi. The woman, the till, thought I was off my rocker, I think. And number 10, I didn't get it down. It's still up there. There we go. I normally put it down so it's easy to reach and I don't have to wrangle with it. Number 10. Number 10. Is this going to be trouble at number 10? Is there a party inside, do we think, that shouldn't be happening? Ooh. Now that is a lovely colour. Weeks Dye Works Holly. Look at that. See, that's the one I broke there. Try not to show that one too much. So Weeks Dye Works Holly. It's a really, really nice dark green, but it does have a little hint almost of like an emerald with a bit of teal to it. Lovely green. Lovely green. That'd be really, a Quaker would be lovely in that green. So we shall see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow is the weekend. It brings us the last full week of school, so it's going to be amazing. I'll see you soon. Stay classy, Stitchers.